Welcome to Practices from the Road. Today I am east of LA, just east of the Angeles National Forest, and I found a really peaceful grove of trees to practice in. It's so pretty up here, and I'm happy you're here to join me in our practice. So let's begin in a comfortable seated position. Allow your eyes to close. With your eyes closed, become more attuned to your environment, both inner environment and outer. Breathing through your nose. And as you breathe in through your nose, feel the expansion, the opening of your inner body. And then open your mouth, exhale. Feel the softening through your whole body from crown down to the root of your spine. And breathe in, expanding, opening to possibility, rising. And exhale through your mouth, softening into this moment, letting go of any resistance. And one more breath like that, in through your nose. And out through your mouth. And sometimes just the breath can be your whole yoga practice, breathing in and breathing out, rolling your shoulders back and opening, attuning to this moment. And bring your hands together at your heart, right at the middle, right at the connection between the upper and the lower. And set your intention for this practice, opening to what is. And reach your arms over your head with your next inhalation, feeling that stretch all the way up to and beyond your fingertips. And open your arms out to the side, feeling your fingers make lines through space. And then you can open your eyes and come to all fours, placing your fingers wide apart. And do a few cat-cow motions through your spine, articulating through every vertebra. And you can choose to breathe in when you round your back or breathe out. You'll find it has a different effect in the way that you breathe. And find a neutral spine. Slide your right foot back along the mat and then lift the right leg up. Lift through your inner thigh. And then reach your left arm forward, stretching in opposite directions through your arm and through your leg. And gazing forward. Exhale, take your hand down and take your knee down. And we'll switch sides. So left leg slides back and rises up from the mat. And the right arm reaches forward and up. Feel for pushing more into your left hand so you have a fullness through the mid and upper back. And that will help stabilize the whole pose. And reach forward, look forward. Place your hand down, place your knee down, lift your knees, and move back into downward dog. In this first dog pose, you can alternately bend one knee then the other knee, shifting your hips from side to side, opening up through the larger joints of your body, hips and knees. And then bring your feet together, and we'll do knee circles in downward dog. So bend your knees and circle them one direction. And you can do little semicircles, little half moon circles, or full circles. Keep your ankles and knees together if possible. And this helps lubricate the joints in your ankles and your knees and your hips, creating happy joints. And then switch sides or switch directions. And feeling if it's easier to move one direction or another. Just taking note of your body sensations. And then straighten through both legs. Take your feet so they're hip distance apart. Rise onto the balls of your feet. Then bend your knees and bring your knees close to the mat. Keep your hips high. And we'll stay here for a few breath cycles, building strength and stability and stillness. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. Creating a steadiness in your breath and in your body. If you want to wiggle, see if you can resist that urge to wiggle and just be here with that slow burn building in your thighs as you maybe bend your knees just a little bit deeper. Keep your knees bent, hovering just above the mat. Come to a plank pose. So this is a plank pose with knees bent, a little different than we usually do. So knees bent, push into the mat, rounding through the upper and mid back. Create that fullness. And then start to bend your elbows. And at a certain point, your knees will touch. Then bring the hips down and rise to a cobra pose. And you can sway a little bit in this cobra pose. Shoulders rolling, neck swaying like a cobra. Dancing. Lie all the way down on your belly, tuck your toes, lift up and back to your down dog. And from your down dog, step your left foot forward, lower the back knee down, reach the arms up overhead. Keep those back toes tucked. Interlace your fingers and turn the palms upwards towards the sky, and bend the elbows wide. Try to pull your fingers apart like they're caught in a Chinese, what are those called? Those little Chinese finger traps. So pull back and wide through your elbows. Then push into the ball of your back foot and lift the knee up just a couple inches from your mat. Try to pull your feet isometrically towards each other so you're creating a lot of fire and strength right there in the midline. Good. Keep that back knee bent. Stay with it. And reach the arms up and forward so your hands are directly in front of your shoulders, arms parallel with the ground. Push down as if you're pressing against the counter. Pull that back thigh, your right thigh forward a little more, and then lean back slightly through your torso without dropping into your lower back. You're hinging back, going deeper into that back thigh. And then reach the arms up, straighten the back leg, take a breath, inhale. Exhale, touch the mat, step back into down dog, and bend your knees again so they're hovering just above your mat. Keep your hips really high, elbows straight. Couple breaths here. Okay, knees stay bent. Shift forward towards a plank pose variation with the knees hovering above your mat. Push into your mat to round and get full through the mid and upper back. And then lower down all the way to your belly. Rise up, cobra pose. Inhale. And exhale. Tuck the toes, lift back into down dog. From down dog, right foot forward, back knee down. Coming into your low lunge, reach the arms up. Interlace your fingers and turn the palms up. Pull the elbows wide, trying to pull your fingers apart, but you stay steady here in the midline. Now push really powerfully through the ball of the back foot and lift your knee up so it's hovering above your mat. Isometrically draw your feet towards each other, so that means they don't actually move. You're just engaging all the muscles to get that action to occur. Yeah, it's a pretty good burn in the back thigh. And reach the arms up and forward, so hands are just in front of your shoulders, pressing against that imaginary counter, and then lean back, hinge back, going more into that left thigh. Keep that steadiness in your breath and the steadiness in your practice. Straighten your leg, your back leg, reach the arms up, inhale. Exhale, touch the mat, step back into down dog. Bend both knees, look forward to your hands, lightly hop or step your feet forward, rise to your fingertips, inhale. Then exhale, bend your knees and shift your weight back more into your heels. Reach your hands forward so your fingertips are hovering up above your mat or above the floor. Get long through your spine, reaching forward and out through your fingertips, up and back through your hips. And slide the hands up towards your hips. Hold onto your hips and inhale, rise all the way to standing. Reach the arms up, inhale here. Exhale, bow forward, bending your knees, moving your hips back behind your heels so your knees are just above your ankles. Inhale to the tips of your fingers. Bend your knees even deeper and float or step your feet back to plank. Then lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, rise up to cobra pose. And then exhale, move back into your down dog. From down dog, bring your left foot forward between your hands. Come into your high lunge. First, bring hands to your hips. Then lift up and back through your shoulders. Draw yourself upright. Reach the arms up overhead. Bend the back knee and hover your knee just above your mat, drawing the right thigh forward and hinging back, just like we did previously. And then bring your spine vertical. Keep that back knee hovering just above your mat and lean slightly over to your left. You won't have to go far till you get into the front of that right thigh and psoas. Come upright. Open into warrior two. Take your stance wider if you need. And open the arms out to the side. Gaze over the front hand and find a steady gaze, soft eyes looking beyond your middle finger. Go low, drop in. And then palms turned up. Look upwards as you bring your arms, hands above your head. Hands together at your heart. Push the pads of your fingers together. Very powerfully engage the chest muscles and the muscles all around both shoulders. And then pivot. Keep the hands. Pivot into your lunge. Lower your back knee slowly to the mat. And then reach the arms up overhead. Keep pushing pads of fingers together as you inhale. Exhale, lean forward, touch the mat, step back into down dog. Inhale, step right foot forward between your hands, hands to your hips. Inhale, rising up into your high lunge. Good, and then bend the back knee so it's hovering above your mat. Reach the arms up. Shift the back thigh forward as you hinge back, going more into that left thigh, left quad, starting to burn. And then come upright with the spine and lean over slightly to the right, working on lifting up and out of that left hip. And come upright, open into warrior two, planting down fully through that back foot, and open the arms out to the side. And go low. Allow your hips to descend. Allow yourself to go into and be fully present in this pose. Gaze over that right middle finger with soft eyes. And bring the arms up overhead, following your hands with your gaze. Look upwards. Then exhale, bring your hands together at your heart and press the pads of your fingers together so powerfully that the muscles in the chest turn on, the muscles all around your shoulder blades and the back turn on, and you're here, and you're present. You're with your body, you're with your breath, you're in this moment. Keep pressing the pads of your fingers together. Pivot into your lunge. Lower the back knee down. Keep pushing pads of fingers together as you bring your arms up overhead and take a deep, full breath. Inhaling here. Exhale, lean forward. Release the hands to the mat. Step back into down dog. Come forward into plank pose. Lower the knees down and lower all the way down to your belly. And then walk your elbows forward so the elbows will be directly underneath your shoulders. Have the toes tucked. The knees will stay down on the mat for this pose. It's called 8-point plank. Tuck your chin towards your throat to lengthen the back of your neck. And now you'll keep tucking your chin towards your throat and lift that space between your shoulder blades, the upper thoracic spine. Draw the ribs towards each other in the front like you're wearing a corset. And then lift your belly button and lift your hips. If there's any back pain, do a little more tuck through your tailbone. It should feel challenging. There should be a trembling through your body. If not, you can walk your elbows forward more. And you can work this pose by drawing opposite elbow and knee towards each other isometrically, so without actually moving, just engaging the muscles as if you were to do that action. And do that on both sides. Continuing to breathe. It's difficult to breathe when the muscles around the core are engaged so powerfully. So you breathe more into your ribs, working on lateral expansion of your rib cage. Take another breath here. And then lower all the way down through your belly. Relax for just a moment. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck the toes, lift up to plank pose, and press back into down dog. From here, lift the left leg up. Try to keep your hips square for this one. And then draw your left knee forward between your arms. And then reach your left leg up and back, coming to your three-legged dog pose. And then exhale, bring your left knee to the outside of your left arm and forward of your left arm if you can get that motion. Good, and then bring the leg up and back to your three-legged dog pose. Now bring your left knee into your left armpit, seeing if you can snuggle that knee right into the hollow of your armpit. Hold it there, 3 breaths. And then reach your leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale to step your foot between your hands and bring both legs towards straight, coming to Parsvottanasana. Drawing your hips back, especially drawing the outer left hip back. Bow over that front leg. You can walk your fingertips forward more, working on continuing to lengthen through the side bodies, the front body, and the back body, so you're not just collapsing into this forward fold. And then take your hands down to the mat. Push into your hands. Try to kick your left heel up towards your left butt. So push the floor away, left heel to left butt. Hold it. Then reach it back, three-legged dog pose. And place your foot down, full dog. Let's do the other side. Lift the right leg up. And draw your knee between your arms, knee towards your chest, but even further. And then bring the leg up and back, three-legged dog. Bring your knee to the outside of the right arm and forward of your right arm. And then reach the leg back up. Inhale. Bring your knee to your right armpit, making a hollow in your armpit by pushing the floor away. Hold it here for a few breaths. And reach your leg up and back, three-legged dog. step your foot forward. Let's come into Parsvottanasana. Sliding that outer right hip back as you bring both legs towards straight. Walk the hands forward. Come onto the tips of your fingers. Lift through your chest. And keep walking your fingers forward as you bow over that right leg. Walk the hands back either side of your right foot. Bend your knee. Kick your right heel towards your right butt. That takes a lot of rounding to the upper back. If your arms are short relative to your torso, blocks might be really good friends in this pose. Then reach it back, three-legged dog pose. Exhale, step your foot down, full dog. Look forward between your hands, bend your knees, hop or step your feet to the outside of your hands. So knees go forward in front of your arms as you take a squat and come down into Malasana. Bring the pads of your fingers together. Push the pads of your fingers together right at the midline of the heart and lift up through your spine. Get really long. Push your knees into your arms and your arms back against your knees. Okay, now we'll do a couple variations of Bakasana. One is something you're familiar with, so we've done before with the knees on the outside of your arms, so we'll start there. Place the hands down, lift your hips, and heel-toe your feet towards each other. Come onto the balls of your feet and take your knees wide. Squeeze your knees into the outsides of your arms. You're hugging in with your knees. Push into the mat now with the pads of your fingers to round through the mid and upper back. Keep all of that. Squeeze even more and lift your heels up off of your mat. A few breaths. Sustain the pose. Sustain your focus. Then place your feet down and come back into Malasana. Maybe your feet a little closer together in Malasana this time. Pads of your fingers push together, strengthening through the chest and the upper back, also stabilizing through your wrist. All right. So the next variation of crow pose, your arms will be on the outside, hugging in. Your knees will be on the inside, pushing out. It's quite a bit challenging, so give yourself some room to play, to come back and try again. You're always welcome to do this video again and again and again until you get it. Play with it at home. Okay, so hands will come down to the mat. I'll go this direction so you can actually see what's happening. Hands to the mat, knees to the insides of your arms, and hop your feet so they're your sitting bone distance apart. That way you have a little more leverage, and it's a different pose than Lolasana, the pendulum pose. So you're pushing into your mat with the pads of your fingers active in that way. Lift through your hips, push your arms into your legs and your legs out into your arms, and play with lifting your feet up off of your mat. Quite a bit different, right? Sit back into Malasana. Push the pads of your fingers together again, restabilize the wrists. All right. And then one more play for Bakasana. We're going to go from the knees on the outside to the knees on the inside without touching the feet to the mat. And it's quite a challenge, again. So we'll start in regular Bakasana, okay? Take your knees to the outsides of your arms, squeeze in, lift your hips, and lift your feet. Okay, so now either way, you can start with right foot or left foot, but bring that leg to the inside, whew, and then bring the other one to the inside, and then come on down. I needed to come down, but maybe you can keep going. So now, from the inside, knees on the inside of your arms, lift up through your feet, and bring your one knee to the outside, and the other knee to the outside, and then inside, inside, outside, outside, and Malasana. Good. Push pads of fingers together. And take a deep breath. Okay, lie on your back. We deserve a good bridge pose now. So lie on your back and place your feet on your mat. Flex your feet, walk your feet away from you. We're going to get the hamstrings to engage a little bit more. So push into the backs of your arms, push into your heels, push into the back of your head. Lift your hips a couple inches. Now dig your heels down into your mat and try to draw them isometrically up towards your hips. Just look at the hamstrings to turn on. We're also giving the arms a little bit of a break. How'd that feel? I like it. Trying new things is always fun. And lower the hips back down. Rest. Walk your feet in. So your heels are maybe on right at the back of your fingertips or slightly forward. Bend the elbows again at 90 degrees. Press into your feet. Press into the backs of your arms and lift your hips. Walk your shoulder blades towards each other. Keep pushing into the backs of your arms. You still have those robot arms. Bring the breath up into the chest, laterally into the sides of your ribs, opening and receiving the sweetness of this practice, the strength and steadiness of this practice. Bring your hips back down and relax your arms down. Draw your left knee into your chest. Give your knee a little squeeze. And then bring your legs straight up towards the sky. 90 degrees. Holding behind the hamstring. And bend the elbows. You can bend the elbows slightly to the side. And make sure the shoulders are plugged in, connected to the floor. So nice to practice outside and just look around and see the leaves and the branches of the trees and the sky through them and the light shining. It's really lovely. Draw the left knee in towards your chest and then switch sides. Bring the left leg down, right knee in. Give your knee a little squeeze. Then bring the leg straight up towards the sky. Hold behind your hamstrings. Find a little counter pressure. The thigh pushing against the hands and the hands pressing against the thighs. With equal energy. In and out. And bend the knee. Bring both knees in. Give both knees a little squeeze. And come to happy baby pose. Hold the outer edges of your feet, drawing your thighs wide. And you can bring your legs towards straight, keeping a hold of your feet as you press out against your hands. Bring your legs together. Bend the knees. Bring the knees over to the left. Come into a gentle spinal twist. Keeping the back of your right shoulder down on the mat as you twist. Come out of the twist by drawing into your belly, bringing your knees up and over to the right, turning your head to the left, and to come out, engage your belly and draw your knees to the center. Give yourself a little hug again, and then make figure eights with your knees, slightly holding onto your knees with your hands. And you can switch the direction of these figure eights. You're mobilizing the joints of your hips and your pelvis in this way. And roll all the way over to your right. Use your hands to bring yourself upright. And bring the soles of your feet together and knees wide. Hold onto your ankles to give your spine a little lift. And then keeping your long lower back, so a gentle arch through the lower back, lean forward. You can reach your hands forward, just don't compromise the lower back for depth. And bring yourself up, inhaling. And let's prepare for meditation. So I'll come join you. I'll sit right next to you. And find a comfortable seat, sitting on a block or a blanket, pillow, against the wall, whatever you'd like. Once you've found your seat, let's have your eyes softly open to begin. Receiving the light, the sounds, the shapes, your breath. So after a practice like this one, there is a greater sense of steadiness through the body and also steadiness through the mind and through the entire nervous system. There is a sense of inner strength and connection. And it's from that really steady center that we are then able to expand and open and test our edges of what we think and know to be possible. And as you sit here, your eyes may naturally come to close. And your inner sight, your inner vision focuses you may naturally turn your eyes downwards towards your heart, or slightly upwards towards the third eye. You choose one or the other, heart or third eye, or possibly another space inside. And steady your inner sight. Clear and focused, strong and centered. You sit here with full presence. And gently deepen the breath. And lie on your back, finding your way into Shavasana. Into a pose of repose and reintegration. Allow yourself to rest as long as you're able. Give yourself this space of peace. And I bring my hands to my heart, and I bow to each of you with deep gratitude. From my heart to your heart, to the one heart. Namaste, and blessed be.